Yo, what's good, everybody? Today, I'm talking about Josh Taylor versus Ekow Essuman. Getting right into it, I thought Josh had himself a solid first half where he won about 5 of the first 6 rounds. He did well to kind of blitz Ekow. He would start and stop the action as he pleased, let his hands go, and he was just the better overall ring general. He was in control of the fight. He was a step ahead of Ekow. Ekow was always in the fight. He kept trying, but to me, in the first half at least, he was just a level below Josh in terms of everything. I thought Ekow couldn't physically and mentally keep up with Josh, and at times his technique was poor and he couldn't find his range, thus making him inaccurate and ineffective. But then, he caught on to Josh's rhythm and tendencies and adjusted and capitalized on Josh's flawed defense. It all started in round 7. He just let his hands go and asserted himself and put Josh on the back foot. He tightened up his defense and responded immediately every time Josh threw. And I think this in particular had a massive effect on how the fight turned out, because JT's output substantially dropped when Ekow started shooting right after Josh shot. But I digress. Essuman had himself a massive 7th round, and his confidence just grew each round thereafter, and he himself found his mojo, and he pretty much clearly won every round after that. Now, I did mention Josh's flawed defense earlier, and honestly, it was really bad. First of all, his guard is ineffective. It's like it's just there for show, because Ekow was blasting through it like it's not even there. Then there's his defensive IQ. Often he stayed in Essuman's firing range for a second or two too long. In those 2 seconds, Ekow managed to land 2 or 3 unanswered hits on him. There's also many times when he just didn't complete the defensive maneuver. Like, there were so many sequences where Josh would step back, causing Ekow to miss a punch. But as part of Ekow's adjustments, he continued throwing while stepping in, and he would follow up his missed shot with another 2 or 3 punches that would land. That sounded hella long and confusing, but basically what I'm trying to say is that Josh would step back out of range, but Essuman would follow up with another 2 or 3 shots that would end up tagging Josh. And this same sequence that I just described happened several times throughout the fight, and Josh Taylor did nothing to change that. He did not adjust. He just didn't. Ekow exploited Josh's tendencies, and Josh had no answer. He made 0 adjustments in the second half of the fight. It's like his brain kind of just froze, and he couldn't come up with anything. He just couldn't pull the trigger anymore in the second half. He just shelled up for most of the rounds and let Essuman take control the rest of the way. Which begs the question, what is next for Josh Taylor? Should he hang up the gloves? To keep it a buck with you, going into this fight, I was really excited for Josh to join the welterweight division. In his prime days, Josh was such an excellent fighter. He was very entertaining. I loved the spite he threw his punches with. They had mean intent to them, and I loved that. And so I was really hoping he would find his footing in the welterweight division, and he could be thrown in the mix with the likes of Boots, Stanionis, Jin Sasaki, Barrios, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rowley, and even Gabriel Maestre and Nick Flaus. You know what I'm saying? All of these guys mashed up with Josh would be amazing. It would be fireworks. It would be very entertaining, and I really would just love to see how the matchup would work. But, unfortunately, Josh is just not the same fighter anymore, and that's a damn shame. He lost his engine. The motor just isn't the same anymore. It really looks like his heart isn't in it anymore, and physically, as a welterweight, he looked weak. He did not look stable, and he was getting overpowered by Essuman. He was getting roughed up and muscled around. Even the shots that he blocked still had a visible effect on him. I just don't think that he is a true welterweight, nor will he ever be. He is just not strong enough for these guys at the top level. He also doesn't have the defensive abilities or IQ to mix it up with the hard hitters at 147. And in my opinion, if he continues to fight at 147, he could get severely hurt, because he is steadily declining and he has a lot of things he needs to improve. So that formula right there is not good for him. You know, that does not solve the equation that's in front of him. And with all that being said, I truly hope Josh Taylor calls it a career and retire. He had his time in the sun, and he is a very, very accomplished fighter who will be inducted in the Hall of Fame one day. He's one of the few that can say they were undisputed in the 4-belt era. And though there's a lot of Josh Taylor detractors right now, and they're loud, nobody can take his accomplishments away from him. He was a problem in his prime. So yeah, these are my thoughts on this fight. Congratulations to Ekow Essuman. He had a hell of a performance. I believe and hope that he will land a big fight because of this performance right here. So good for him. As for Josh Taylor, you know, salute to you. Please call it a career and enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right, so that's all I gotta say. What do you think of the fight? What did you think of the scores? Did you even have it close? Because I kind of had it close. I thought I was like a 7-5 type of fight for Ekow Essuman. And what would you like Josh Taylor to do next? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I really want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day.